What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the CU04 YouTube channel. Happy New Year, happy 2024. I hope the year is great for you guys and everyone watching. Thank you for all the support recently, over this season and over last year. Hopefully this year we can take the channel to another level. But we are going to do my mid-season predictions here for Sky Bet League One. That is right, we did it last season. I thought I'd bring it back again for this season. And let's just say there isn't as many shockers this year than there was last year. But we'll start with one of the worst predictions. I said Stevenage would finish 24th and get relegated. Stevenage are obviously having a fantastic season as it stands. For me, I think they're just going to fall by the wayside of the playoffs into the back end of the season. I went with 7th for Stevenage, which is a massive upgrade on 24th that I predicted at the start of the season. But I think they'll finish 7th. I think the teams that I've put above them just have a bit more to them. In 23rd, I had Cambridge United. I'm going to move Cambridge into 18th position. I think my based on the Cambridge's position on how they finished the season prior, which obviously them and Oxford went down to the last game. They went down to the last game of the season with MK Dons in a relegation scrap, but obviously, you know, they've improved this season. I think they'll finish 18th. Not out of the relegation fight, but I think they'll be safe. Unlike Cheltenham I predicted 22nd at the start of the season. I am actually going to drop them to 24th. If I'm going to, I just think they haven't had a very good start to the season at all, and I think it could be definitely relegation for Cheltenham, but I think they're the worst of the bottom four sort of relegation teams. I'll put them bottom. Into 20th, I had Leyland Orient. I'm actually going to move Leyland Orient up 5 places, up 6 places, sorry, and put them in 15th position. That's right, I'm putting Leyland Orient in 15th. I think they've had a decent start to the season, and they're probably going to establish themselves as sort of a lower mid-table League One team going forward, I think. And yeah, 15th position for me seems fair for Leyland Orient there. In my 20th, I had Fleetwood Town. I'm actually going to drop Fleetwood into the relegation zone. I'm putting Fleetwood in 23rd position. I think the teams in and around Fleetwood, it's going to be a shootout, this relegation fight, don't get me wrong. But I think Fleetwood and the teams that are just above them, there's just little differences sort of in ownerships. And I think Fleetwood are unfortunately the worst off and going to go down. In 22nd, we've got our boys Carlisle United. I originally had them in 19th, but I am going to put them in 22nd. I think a lot of people are relying on this January transfer window, and we have to get it absolutely bang on right. If we do, who knows? But for me, I don't think we have enough, and I do think we'll go down. I've put us above Fleetwood with the ownership value and everything, and I think that our owners are going to spend money, and we are going to be, strengthening, but by how much, I'm not sure. In 18th, I originally had Northampton. I'm actually going to move them into 11th position. Yeah, that's 7 places higher for Northampton. I think they've adapted to League One very well under John Brady, and I think they'll be okay this season, if we're being honest. I think, again, with Orient, they're the team that are going to solidify themselves as sort of lower mid-table League One side going forward. So yeah, I went with 11th position there for Northampton. Up next, we've got Port Vale, who I originally had in 17th, and I'm not going to move them. I'm going to keep them in 17th. I think that's fair for them. They're sort of be in a little bit of a relegation fight, but never really threatened with relegation, if that sort of makes sense. So yeah, Port Vale coming in 17th position there. I think they'll be alright. But coming up next, we have an absolute shocker for my predictions. Yep, that is right. It is Oxford United. Now, I said Oxford will finish 16th. And they're having an absolute worldie of a season, let's be fair. I'm going to put them in the last sort of playoff position, in 6th position there. I think they have enough to stay within that top 6 and have a chance of promotion. I think they've just got a real good feel factor about them at the moment. Obviously, the manager is an Oxford fan and everything like that. But yeah, I'm going to go with 6th position for Oxford in the playoffs. Up next, we've got Wigan Athletic, who of course started the season on -8 points. Their fan base was absolutely class at Brunton Park earlier this season. And to be fair, we were classed down at the DW as well. But yeah, I had them in 15th. I'm going to drop them 1 position into 16th position. I think they'll be okay. I think like Port Vale, they'll be in a relegation fight, but not really in any sort of trouble of getting relegated. I think they'll be fine. And another team that I think will be doing absolutely fine is Shrewsbury. I had them in 14th position. I'm going to move them up to 12th position. I think they'll be alright, Shrewsbury. Can't see any trouble with them sort of in a relegation fight. I think they'll be quite a comfortable mid-season team, which is probably what the fans come to expect from Shrewsbury, to be sort of that mid position in the league. Up next, we've got Bristol Rovers. I originally had them in 13th. I'm going to drop them one place into 14th. Obviously, Joey Barton sacked earlier in the season, but I think they'll be all right moving to 14th position. I think the new stand in their stadium looks pretty decent, to be fair to them. And yeah, 14th for me. I think they'll be all right, Bristol Rovers, this season. But moving into the team that I had in 12th position, it's Burton Albion. I think Burton, I had them in 12th. I think they're going to drop 7 places in my predictions. I think Burton are going to be in a relegation fight for sure. I've got them in 19th position. Obviously, the new manager could go one way or another, but for me, I'm not confident with Burton. I think they'll stay up, but I think they are definitely in the relegation fight. As with the team I had in 11th position, Exeter City, I think Exeter are in this relegation fight as well. I put them in 20th position. They haven't had a good run of form towards the end of 2023, and I do think that will continue into 2024. So yeah, for me, I've got Exeter there in 20th position, just staying up, but I think between 18th and 23rd, it's going to be very tight this season with not that many points in it, and it will come down very late on. In 10th position, I had Lincoln City, and I'm just going to keep them in 10th position. I think they'll be fine in sort of that pushing the bottom end of the playoffs, sort of mid-table type of position. I think Lincoln will be all right in 10th position, to be fair. Mid-season. What more can I say really on that one? Moving into 19th position, moving into 9th position, I had Peterborough. I'm going to drop Peterborough up 1 position and put them in 8th position. I think players with like Johnston, Clark, Harris, they've always got goals in them, and I do think they'll be able to sort of have a playoff run, like a push towards the playoffs, but finish in 8th position in the end. Into the team then that I had in 8th originally in my August predictions, it's Wycombe Wanderers. I'm dropping Wycombe to 13th. I don't think they've really clicked on this season as they would have maybe liked. Maybe the loss of Gareth Ainsworth. Maybe he was the man for the job or whichever, but I'm going to go with 13th position there for Wycombe Wanderers, dropping them from 8th to 13th. So moving into 7th then, and just missing out on the playoffs, I originally had Bolton Wanderers. I had Barnsley. I had Barnsley in 7th. I'm going to put Barnsley in 4th. I think Barnsley have got a very good team, good stadium, good manager, and I think they'll be able to push on this season and get into that playoff position. And I think they'll be 4th in the playoffs, which means that they'll play the 5th position. But I think Barnsley will get 4th in the table. Into the team that I had 6th, I jumped the gun a little bit before, but it is Bolton. I think Bolton are going to get automatics. I originally had them in the playoffs, but no, I think it's automatic promotion for Bolton. I know obviously Carlisle did them at their spot very, very nicely, 3-1, but I think the run of form they've had towards the end of 2023 and throughout 2023, it's enough to get promotion. They're showing the qualities of a team that needs that can get promotion. Just like the team that I originally had in 5th, another playoffs team that I'm going to put in the automatic promotion is Portsmouth. I think Portsmouth are going to win Sky Bet League One this season and go up into the Championship. Probably, to be fair, where Bolton and Portsmouth belong, two massive clubs to be in League One. I think they'll both be in the Championship next season. Into the team then I originally had in 4th, it's Charlton Athletic. I dropped Charlton 5 places into 9th position. They just haven't really clicked on as they possibly would have liked. I think Alfie May is an absolutely incredible striker and they get signing for them. But I think they're just going to drop by the wayside and drop into that sort of 7th to 10th position type of thing. Where one point they're in with the playoffs and then it sort of fades out towards the end of the season, in my opinion. The team I had in 3rd was Blackpool, and the team I'm keeping in 3rd is Blackpool. I think Jordan Rhodes is an absolutely incredible striker, and I really do think he will be able to keep them in the position that they are in move them up into the table, into them playoff positions. I don't think they'll be close to automatics. I think Portsmouth and Bolton will probably run away with it, but I do think they'll get 3rd position. Here's a shocker for you then. I said Reading were going to finish 2nd and get promotion back into the Championship. how I was mistaken. They've had an awful season on and off the pitch, points deductions and poor ownership. I have put Reading in 21st position. I think if new owners come in, it could be a fairy tale story and they might be able to stay up, but I just don't see it. But do you see my point now about the ownership with Carlisle and Reading is why I put them above Fleetwood? But I have Reading in 21st position. And then the team that I had to win the league was Derby County. Now, obviously, Derby have had a decent season, but nowhere near winning the league potential. Now, I've got them in 5th position, dropping them 4 places. I think they'll get the playoffs, Derby. I think they're a big club with a great fan base and definitely be able to get in that playoffs come the end of the season. So yeah, what do you guys think of my predictions? Let me know yours in them comments down below. But they are my predictions for the 2024 League One season. My midway point predictions on your screen there. In pink was my August predictions, and in yellow is my January predictions. What do you guys think? Again, let me know in the comments down below. But for now, I have been CU04. Thank you for all the support last year. Happy New Year. Hope it's a great 2024 for all of you guys. I'll see you in the next one.